Joining us on the program now from CBM, Darren Ward. Darren, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Morning, Andrew.
The situation in the Philippines now, of course, we were talking about this last week, and CBM's response to the disaster, the typhoon, the impact of that initially, but also the long-term impact. What's the situation with you and your team on the ground at the moment?
Yeah, well, things are happening and developing fairly fast, but it's a wee bit frustrating, I guess, up there at the moment. The damage is just so complete, and it's just the damage is everywhere, and it's really making it difficult to get much-needed food and other assistance out to people. So I know our team are working really hard to get much-needed supplies out to people, but it's not an easy environment, and that's compounded, I think, for the families we're working with because of the impact of disability on the families, and really reducing their mobility is one of the big factors. Mm-hmm. Like with so many of these disasters, it's the personal stories that you hear of, that you read, that really bring home the reality for people up there in such difficult circumstances. And I've just been reading a recent update, and one of our team up there talking to a young blind boy who, he couldn't see what was going on around him, and he was hiding under a table with his grandfather for over 4 hours, cold, wet, shivering, and not knowing what was going on. But, the result of it was his family home has been destroyed, their crops have been destroyed, and as a family they're facing a very, very uncertain future because of the damage of the typhoon. And that is just the scenario, I guess, we are seeing again and again and again in the sort of 2 or 3 areas that we're working in quite intensively. And, it's just going to take a long, long time to recover from this incredible disaster.
Now, I mean, that's the thing with CBM, and we've talked about this before, Darren, that if there's a disaster, if there's a tough situation, that is, to the power of 10, the impact on that with people with disabilities. But it's not just, I suppose, meeting the physical needs, those aspects of life which deal with the disability aspect of life. It's dealing with the whole person. It's saying, well, yes, I mean, the situation with the blind boy, yes, meeting his immediate needs, but also helping the family, the community get back on their feet and being able to earn their own livelihood in the future.
That's exactly right. And a number of the projects that we've got in the Philippines are built around providing livelihoods for people and families with disability. And those projects have been severely impacted. We've got one in Tacloban City where we have a workshop for young men and women with disabilities that has a contract to make school chairs for all of the Philippines and in other countries. And that workshop has been severely damaged. So, the livelihood for those people is at risk. We've got a program actually out of New Zealand with Ministry of Foreign Affairs funding, training deaf people to be able to participate in the workforce. And again, that program has been severely damaged. The school for the deaf has been essentially destroyed. And, we've got to get that back up and running. A lot of the people in fringe areas to cities and in the rural areas are completely reliant on agriculture. And, that is going to take a long time to come back through. So I think one of the things that is striking me with it is that whilst the devastation seems just so complete and total, the spirit of people is absolutely incredible. And we're seeing stories again and again of our partners on the ground, of the people that they work with, taking a very, very positive approach to the future and saying, we've got through things before. This is the worst we've ever seen, but we're going to get there. We're going to make it happen. They're very, very grateful for the support of people who are financially supporting the work, and that is just so important at the moment. But they are positive about it. They want to improve things. They want to get through this and not let it beat them. And I think that wonderful Filipino spirit is coming through. They have an incredible faith, and they are really relying on that to get them through and are positive about building to the future. But to do that, they really need our help, and they need that help now.
I mean, good to hear a positive report. Of course, still much to be done, still lots of frustrations in terms of logistics and getting the help and the resources to people who need it. I mean, you mentioned the generous response of people in New Zealand, a good response to the CBM appeal?
There has been a good initial response to it. We do need a lot more. Mm-hmm. It is the type of work that we do with CBM that is, will last a lot longer than the food and initial aid and relief distribution. And of course, we're looking at things like needing to provide additional prosthetics for people that have had amputations as a result of the typhoon and injuries received. We're looking at needing to rebuild facilities, and the cost of that can be higher, particularly if we're working in areas that relate to visual impairment or physical impairment, where we need to make allowances for accessibility for people. And, we really do need the support of wonderful people that listen to REMA to enable us to do that, because it's going to be a very long-haul project and something that we'll be committed to for many years to come, I think.
Much to be done, but a positive and hope-filled response from people in New Zealand and on the ground in the Philippines. Darren, we certainly appreciate what you do, and thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you, Andrew.